Right?
There it goes. We're on the air, live and living. Hey, welcome to the ParaSanctum podcast, episode 30. We have Mr. Bobby J. Gallo.
Hey,
Gallo
Bobby!
Family Ghost Hunters. On our Father's Day special, and really honored to have him with us.
Yeah, happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
To everybody, all of you. Happy Father's
all
Day.
of you, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Mikey.
Yeah, we really ought to extend that to the mothers who have had to.
Yeah, wish me a happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Happy
go.
Father's Day too. I mean, you
Happy
had to
belated Mother's Day, Lisa.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, happy Father's Day to me. Yep. There you go. He just wished me a happy Father's Day. He did. He's sitting right here. He's writing. So if I shake, it's because his hands.
So Bobby, well, Mr. Gallo, Mr. Bobby, again, thank you for being with us tonight on the ParaSanctum podcast. I just wanted to learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us a little bit about the Master Magician?
Oh yeah, I want to know that.
Well, yeah. You know, before I start, though, I do want to say thank you to Fabian, Lisa, David, all of you here for supporting us. We know that you guys do.
Yes.
You recently put us on ParaSanctum TV, the simulcast on the audio broadcast, and that does not go unnoticed. We really do appreciate that. That means a lot to us. And, you know, that's why when Fabian said, hey, can you appear today? I'm like, absolutely, anything for you guys.
Because that's great.
Well, you know, a lot of people talk about para-unity, a lot of people, but less people actually do something about it and really show it in their actions. So, and I'll tell you, Gallo Family Ghost Hunters, for the past 12 years, we've gotten knocked around a lot. You know, even though we were one of the original paranormal web series, we got knocked around a lot, and we continue to still get knocked around a lot. So it's nice to have friends in the industry that support you. So I wanted to start and I want to say also that we still do have a large fan base, and we support those who support us. So as Fabian will tell you, I have put these shows out to my entire fan base on all of the platforms that we're on. Facebook, we got thousands of people on Twitter. We even got them on Tumblr. I put it out everywhere because if you're going to help us, we're going to help you. So, because even just recently, you know, we got knocked by a rather large paranormal streaming network. And
boy.
Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun. I don't want to say who they are here. Because
you might not have to say, because you know it's typical.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of friends that are involved with them, so I'm just going to leave it there.
Right.
But again, it's nice to have friends in the paranormal industry, and I want to thank you guys for supporting the web series and what we do. So.
Thank you too for being the way you are. You know these.
Oh yeah.
These I've had to deal with trolls. You can only imagine, like as I call them. For years. I mean, literally led me to make 2 police reports to make it stop.
Oh.
Okay? That's how serious it started to become. And it has gotten way out of control. But now my favorite thing is, I know this podcast, but I don't give a fuck anymore. They can say whatever they want, and it doesn't change who I am or what we do. And that's exactly the attitude that we have. But getting on you it affects your whole family. You know what I mean? When they do that stuff.
Well, it does. Right? And I'll tell you right now, I will fiercely defend my friends. You know, you support us, then you're on our A list because, my mic. But no, I totally get it. And, you know, the whole thing about para-unity these days is basically you support us, you watch our stuff, but don't you dare try to give us competition. Now,
that's so true. That is so true.
That's the whole situation with it.
I mean, and you had that attitude about us, and we were the first ones out there.
Yeah.
And they give that attitude to us. It's amazing when you think.
It really is. You are a benchmark. And here's the
Oh,
deal.
yeah.
One thing I love about shout out to cousin Larissa Rex
Oh yeah.
is
Oh,
that
we love her.
Cousin
she's amazing.
Larissa.
We love her.
And yeah,
Yes.
and I'll give a shout out for is the Hell House, or no, is it Port Mifflin you two are going to be at, right?
Oh yeah, I can't
Fort
wait.
Mifflin.
Yeah,
I
well,
can.
yeah,
It's
the
like
Fort
going
Mifflin
home for me.
gathering.
It's no
Yeah, yeah.
issues there. I go in there and they all talk.
Oh, and you're going to be at Fort Mifflin with two very good friends of mine, David Taylor and Christy Grissom from Our Haunted Lives.
Oh wow.
Oh, right.
Okay. Yeah, I
They're
know. Yeah.
very good friends of ours.
Yep.
I
Yeah, and I
can't
can't
say
wait.
enough good things about them. They literally have, one of the best, other than ParaSanctum podcast. Let me just clarify that they have one of the best, talk podcasts out there. Our Haunted Live. But they're going to be there. They're also going to be at the Hell House Paracon with Larissa.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to be there as well. We're actually going to be doing a
Oh, yeah,
speaking
that's
engagement.
right.
I am
Forgot,
supposed to
Lisa,
be
you
there
are.
too. Yep. Yep. Me too. So both of them. Except my daughter was supposed to go with me, but she's scared to death of Hell House.
Well,
She's
we,
like,
need, we, need to, we need to hang out. We need to hang
yeah,
out.
definitely, for sure. I wish you were going to the fort. I wish you were coming. I wish you were coming to the fort. That would have been
Yeah.
fun.
I'm sorry. I got it backwards. Y'all are going to be at Hell House Paracon together.
Right.
Okay. My apologies.
But first, I'm going to be at the fort, which is, normal. And August 12th. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Right.
I know it's coming.
So that's going to be great that we're all going to hook up together. And
I know it's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Absolutely.
Yeah, you were
back to what Fabian
Bobby.
was saying.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, about the
because I know you asked me a question and I totally got off track.
Oh no, it's okay, man. This is just free for all. You can just talk about what you want. I do not care.
Good. I have had a couple bourbons, so
That's okay. Good for you.
But I feel good, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel good. I got to knock back a few with David someday. That's what I need to do. David looks like he'd be fun to have a couple bourbons with.
I don't know about that.
He's not so sure. Okay. All right. I won't hold you to that, David.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Maybe someday.
I said maybe. Okay. I'll hold out for maybe. So that you're saying there is a chance. Okay, that's good. All right. So
yeah, I'm not adverse to an occasional cocktail.
Well, that's all I'm talking about. Hey, I'll buy. It's on me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, shit, that's a deal.
All right. Okay, see? I knew we'd find common ground here somewhere.
Free round.
Fabian wanted to know the connection between being a magician and he's posting these very old pictures of me as a magician, I noticed. And the paranormal. Well, I got to tell you that magic, theatrical magic, sleight of hand, has always been closely linked to the paranormal ever since the days of Harry Houdini and even before him, because basically, the magic field has been at odds with the paranormal and, in those early days, because they made it their mission to debunk fraudulent spiritualists, because it was, this was around the Victorian spiritualist movement, just after the Fox sisters, which personally, I credit, honestly, the Fox sisters with the modern day paranormal explosion or field or whatever you want to call it, because it was them who started the spiritualist movement in America. And I think that started everything. I think that was the birth of it all. But I do believe in genuine mediums and psychics, because I know them. I know a few, and there are real ones out there.
Oh, yeah.
But the skeptic community, and this was the age of the scientific revolution and the industrial revolution, and so everybody was like trying to be really scientific and skeptical and rational. So they went after the spiritualists and the psychics around the turn of the century. So Harry Houdini actually devoted half of his full evening show to debunking these people. Now, here's the problem with that. And Neville Mascalini was another one. There were a few that were doing it. You could find a rational explanation for something, but that doesn't mean it's the explanation.
Exactly.
Like you could duplicate something as a magician, but that doesn't mean that's how they did it.
No.
You see what I'm saying? Because we could duplicate a great many things. Look at Steven Spielberg. I use him as an example all the time. Steven Spielberg could duplicate anything with camera trickery. It doesn't mean it really happened or didn't really happen, but he could fake it really well. A modern day version of those magicians would be James Randi, who passed recently, but he was a devout atheist and skeptic, and he had his fraudulent $1 million challenge. And yes, I did say fraudulent. There's a lot of nobody was ever going to be able to win that.
Yeah, I know nobody's going to get that. I remember
no
that.
No one was going to get that money.
He
spent that a long time before his death.
Yep.
No one was getting that money.
Yep.
So it was rigged so that people weren't going to win it. Right. But I came, as a magician, I approached the paranormal from a different angle completely, if you will. I said, well, I could spot if something is being done fraudulently. And you could ask my wife, because it drives her crazy.
Yeah.
Because we watch the paranormal TV shows, and I not only did I spot the fraudulent evidence, I'd tell her exactly how they did it.
Yeah.
So I use that talent out in the field to determine if something is fake, natural causes, or could possibly be paranormal. But I don't come from the angle that everything is fake and everything has a rational explanation, because that's simply not true.
No,
that's closed-minded. That's just being closed-minded.
Exactly.
When they start doing it's great to know. I mean, like EMF fields, for instance. If you have a EMF detector, and let's say you have a solar storm, or you have changes in a magnetic current, or radio waves that fly through the air, you're going to get some spikes. But that doesn't mean that they can't use those energy vortexes or whatever frequencies in order to activate things. It doesn't mean that they can't. It just you might have some natural, like if you're in the middle of a place where has high EMFs or something like that with a lot of things, then it could be activated. But otherwise, I mean, for real, we don't know. So you're right. You can go into it skeptical, but at the same time know that everything isn't paranormal and everything is not man-made. There's got to be two ways on this.
Correct.
I think you have to be a skeptical believer to be a paranormal investigator.
I agree with that.
That's a good one.
I like that. You got to look at everything objectively and yet still be optimistic that what you're getting is honest paranormal activity.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, David. And a lot of people that, I've gotten a reputation for being somebody that believes in everything. And that's simply not true, because they watch our web series and they don't realize that the only things that I put in that web series are things that I believe were paranormal. They don't see the hundreds of EVPs that I've thrown out. And they don't see all of the situations that I said, no, that's just not paranormal. They don't see any of that stuff. Yes, see that? Fabian says the same thing.
I do the same thing.
They don't see that. They only see my web series, and they think that I'm a blind believer, which is totally not the case.
Right.
At all.
There's hours of stuff that you go through. Oh, somebody moved their sleeve. Oh, somebody breathed into the recorder. Oh, somebody's thumb was on it. You know what I'm saying? You got to go over all of that, and then just you put what came out as evidence, and which is logical.
Right. And I mean, like, if you look at our recent episode, House of Eyes, that we did with Larissa, by the way.
Yes.
You see a couple EVPs in there, but you don't see the dozen that I literally threw out that I caught. But I said, either I can't make it out, I don't know what it said, or it could possibly be something else. So I throw it out. But yeah, I agree with David. You have to be a skeptical believer. Let me give you a great example. You know what drives me absolutely up the wall?
What?
Up one wall and down the other is when people will post a picture and they circle an area.
I'm sorry.
And you study this for 30 minutes and you can't figure what the frick they're talking about.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can't see it just by looking at the picture, it ain't.
No.
See, that's always been a big problem for me. You get a picture and you can see it in the actual photo that you've taken.
Mm-hmm.
So normally people want to blow that photo up, and that does not improve the quality of the photo. It makes it a lot worse.
Yeah,
when you
pixels.
pixels, it makes it blurry and you can't see shit.
I totally agree.
Leave it in its original state and see what people come up with.
I only got 2 pictures out of all these years I've been doing this. I have 2 photos that I can legitimately scratch my head at and laugh, because there's 2 of them. You know what I mean? That's it. Like where I could say everybody could see this, but I haven't revealed it yet. You know what I mean? I will be revealing one of them at Fort Mifflin.
Yes.
So
great.
yeah. Yeah.
That
Look
was
at me.
awesome picture.
Yep.
And it's gonna be great.
Oh yeah.
So you were talking about Harry Houdini.
Yeah.
With the magic.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he was kind of floating on both sides of the fence with that, because he went to the Winchester house to try to debunk everything. And yet he also went to a house out in California to make an attempt to actually communicate. So for him, with him as a magician, he's on both sides of the fence. He's running right down that center line.
Well, you know, from Houdini's perspective, the reason he dedicated half of his show to debunking fraudulent spiritualists, it was a way for him to do more magic tricks. Yeah. So, you know, when he would ring the bell under the table with his toes, you know, grabbing the bell and ringing them, he's showing the audience, hey, look how talented I am. I could ring a bell with my toes. By doing that, it was just an extension of his magic show. But you're right, because when he passed, just before he died, and as we know, he died of appendicitis, just before he passed, he made a pact with his wife, Bess, and he gave her a secret word, which was Rosebud. And he said, if you go to a medium, if there is life after death, I'll speak through the medium. I'll give you the code word Rosebud. You'll know that this was all legit if I do that. Right. Now that as this story goes, some people say it happened. Some people say it didn't. So we really don't have any historical verification one way or the other. If you look at the Tony Curtis movie, it happened. But, you know, but other people say it didn't. But regardless, Bess was a big believer, I if I'm not mistaken. But if he didn't make that pact with his wife, there must have been that little bit of belief.
Oh, yeah.
I think that mediums are getting better and more talented as time goes on, because I know a few legit ones. In fact, the reason I'm sitting here right now talking to you was because of a psychic medium more than anything else. It's a profound experience that I had. So Sylvia Rossi, who I talk about in Family Spirits too. She is one of the reasons that I got back into this after years and years and years, because I was doing this. My first investigation was in 1989. It may actually have been earlier. I actually have an email out to somebody to say that investigation that we did, was that in 1989 or was that earlier? I can't remember because I'm terrible with dates. But I've been doing it since at least 89 and got out of it for a lot of years before I had a family, and we got back into it after watching these ghost hunting shows, because I told them, I said, Dad, I said, kids, Daddy used to do that too. And oh my gosh, once I told them that, we had to go ghost hunting. That was it. That's how this all started. And then I said, there's this new thing called YouTube. I wonder if we could do a web series.
Oh my God.
Doing it. And then now, how many paranormal web series on YouTube?
Oh my God.
No doubt. There's quite a few actually. Yeah.
When you were Bobby, when you were younger as a kid, did you do what I did? Go into I used to go to cemeteries, and I didn't know what I was doing back then because ghost hunting wasn't a thing. You know what I mean? But we used to go into cemeteries. We used to go to I lived in Perth Amboy, New Jersey, so we used to go to Proprietary House at night and sit out in front and watch the windows, and see if we could see anything. Did you do stuff like that too?
Well, Fabian has read both my books.
Yeah, I haven't read it
yet. Well, I'm still reading on them.
You're still, I know they're thick.
Yeah.
They're thick books. They're not little books. It's all in there. Honestly.
It is in there. Good.
From our very first investigation, right on up to the present. That would be Family Spirits too. But now we've done some since then, and we actually did a mind-blowing investigation since then. I'm so mad because it was just after I published the second book that we got our third full body apparition in Gettysburg.
Ooh. Yep.
And that is Phantom Regiment is the recent episode, and we caught that with Gavin and Paula Kelly. We did a joint investigation with them, and none of us knew we caught it until I got home and did evidence review. And when I saw it, I said, Courtney, because Courtney was on that investigation with us. I said, Courtney, come in here. She comes into the office, and I said, see the tree line? I said, follow it from the left to the right. and she's looking. She goes, "What am I looking for?" I said, "Just keep looking." And as soon as she got there, she's like, "Oh my god!"
Gettysburg, fully. Yep.
I didn't
Oh,
have to circle it. I didn't have to circle it. I didn't have to have an arrow pointing to it. She saw it immediately. She goes, "Oh," and she goes, "That was there." I said, "It was there. They were watching us from behind a rock."
But you didn't see it. Now that's the thing. When you're there, you didn't notice it. You didn't see it till you got home.
It was caught in infrared.
Yep.
My wife Renee took the picture with the camera. But the LCD finder is very small.
Yep.
So it was in the corner. She didn't see it when she was taking the picture. So it wasn't until we got home and I downloaded it and looked at the picture and I saw it immediately. I was like, holy crap. I said, this is amazing, because what made it amazing is not only can you see it, but you can see that he's wearing a Union soldier's uniform.
Yep.
You get the half cape, the half cape they used to wear?
Right.
Yep.
He had that. He had a Union soldier's cap. Yeah. And he just had his hands on his hips and he's watching us from behind a boulder, just staring intently about what we were doing. It's crazy.
Oh, that's Gettysburg. And it's perfect.
Yep.
Because all the stories that you hear from Gettysburg, all the other things that you hear, I mean, you see the fake photos too, you know what I mean? But, you pick those. We all have. But when something like this occurs, this is phenomenal. I mean,
it's
It
gold.
is.
I mean, it really is gold. I mean, we've caught what we believe so far. We've caught. Let me see. We got the Sprott. We got the first trip to the second trip to Gettysburg. We got one, and then we got this one. So at least 3 of them so far. Really good ones.
Oh, that's fantastic. See, when are you going to go back now? You going back to the same spot?
Well, we're gonna. Well, that was Spangler Spring. That's where we got it at Spangler Spring.
Right.
And we're going to be going back next month because we're doing the bash again.
Yep.
We're doing a lecture on kids in the paranormal.
Right.
And we'll be going out on an investigation. I don't know if we're going to be going with the Kellys again. I do know that, I mean, if anybody wants to come with us, they are absolutely more than welcome to join us. But I'm looking right now, I'm looking at Family Spirits. I mean, our most famous one was at the Sprott Cemetery. Yeah. I'll put it in the.
That was amazing.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
Oh,
yeah. Yes, I remember that. That is my favorite.
On the left
one.
is me at my back, which is my better side, and on the right is a full body apparition. And
that is good. That is really good.
Other than flowers for Emma, that is my absolute favorite one, because you just go in there, and you just start getting all that activity in the middle of a abandoned graveyard. You just start getting all this information. It's great. I highly recommend it.
Well, Elmwood Park Cemetery in Charlotte, North Carolina, is probably one of the largest cemeteries I have ever seen in my entire life. It is absolutely enormous. And what really makes it unique is that the cemetery is divided into sections, because back then with segregation, you had the African Americans in one section, you had the elite in another section, the plantation people, and you could almost see the human drama play out just by walking through the cemetery.
Exactly. Things like that. That's so true. It is true.
Yeah. And Emma was part of the Hardy family, and she was a well-to-do socialite back then. And she was all too eager to communicate with us.
Wow.
And I wish I could have gotten more information, but Renee was like completely wiped out after that. Because, when you're using the dowsing rods to communicate, and the way Renee used to do it, she just put so much energy into it that when she was done, she was just completely emotionally exhausted.
Drained. Drained.
Completely. It's dowsing rods use different energy than what you would expect. I mean, I use mine a lot. And even with minor communication, it does drain you a bit.
Yes.
So when you put and you focus more energy into communicating with the dowsing rods, I mean, it does draw a lot more energy out of you.
Right side and back.
Surrounding area. But you can definitely get some good communication with them.
Well, the way when Renee was doing it, I actually trusted. I trusted them more than my most expensive equipment. We used to use our equipment just to validate what she was getting on the rods. because I know Renee and she wasn't faking it. This was all real. And Renee wouldn't move a muscle. I mean, people that have examined her using them on our videos are blown away because those things just came alive in her hands.
I have a
Crazy.
clip of Renee.
Oh,
I have
fantastic.
a clip of Renee using the rods. Can I go ahead and put that up for you?
Oh, yeah.
And check it out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Hang on, let me get it set. Right.
Watch her hands, folks.
Let me go ahead and see if I
One
can
is going
zoom
in
that
and one is going out. That was unclear. Maybe it was. Okay,
Yeah.
only one of the names that we are speaking about are allowed to answer.
Only the one we were addressing here now. So I was in this mausoleum.
Courtney, can you
Please
carefully
answer.
bring that up to me, please?
Are you Emma?
Oh, that's nice.
It's Emma.
That's definitely.
It's Emma?
Well, they. Nice.
Oh,
Emma, can you please speak into this recorder? That may take a lot of energy, Emma, but if you can speak into the recorder, that's the only way we'll be able to hear you. We'll try.
It's on a 0.1
Look
and
at
it's
that.
not fluctuating anymore. It's sticking on a 0.1. Yeah, hold those over. Let's see what happens if we could communicate. Because we need you, Emma, to come closer so that we can document that you're here. Go ahead, ask a question, honey.
Emma, did you die?
No, it's mine.
Are you an adult?
Wait. Mike. What did you say?
Watch them.
Yes. Emma is an adult.
No, yeah, I'm getting it fixed. I made an appointment. No, it's
0.1.
to get the school.
Okay, well, I'm gonna.
see,
That was
Well, anyway,
phenomenal.
did y'all see
Hang
how
on,
the
guys. I'll be
rods
right
were
back.
responding?
and I
Yeah.
that is absolutely interesting. I mean, for her, a positive response is opening the rods all the way out. And when I use mine will cross completely over across the center for a positive response. So I don't know if I'm backwards or not, or if that's
No,
just
you know what it
my
is?
rods.
No, look, we would tell them what to do. We would say, open them for yes, cross them for no. So it's whatever you tell them to do, they're going to do.
That's it.
See, and I haven't
correct.
I haven't directed mine. And when I try to communicate, I don't direct them.
Okay.
I don't say open them out for no or cross them for yes. I ask whoever's communicating to show me how they're going to indicate a positive response.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, that's
So that's
the way I
fine.
do.
There's, you know what, David? There's no right or wrong way here. I'll tell you that right
No,
now.
Never is.
No, never.
Not in the
There's
paranormal.
never.
No.
Nope.
No way.
No.
I
No.
have a quick question, I think, for all three of you.
Plenty of
Fabian,
people think that.
You play guitar, don't you, Fabian?
No, Fabian's a drummer.
Oh, he's a
I'm
drummer.
an old drummer from back in the 80s.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I haven't played since
Yeah.
84.
It may still pertain.
Okay, sure.
Music.
As far as equipment, and I think it might actually go along with musical equipment too, guitars or whatever. Have you guys found that one particular piece of equipment draws you and allows you to use it better or more intensely?
Huh?
Like, okay, so for Lisa, I'm sure it'd be the Frank's box.
What do you
But-
mean, though? What's it got to do with the guitar?
Okay, so if you picked up just any guitar, you can play it.
Yeah.
But is there a particular guitar that you play better than anything else because of the energy you feel from the equipment?
Oh no, but I don't just play guitar. I can play drums and I can play bass and I can play keyboards too. But
Okay.
Equipment. Any
so
equipment.
it's just music. Music. I think music has a lot to do with the paranormal because it comes in on a
yeah.
frequency and a feeling and a vibe that when you're in tune with music,
Okay.
you know that feeling you get if you bring that into the field while you're out there,
Yes.
If you picked up somebody else's piece of equipment for the paranormal and it didn't feel right, it's still going to work, but is it going to work as well for you?
I've never had no problems with that, so I haven't.
This is what I would say, David. If I pick up a piece of equipment and it doesn't feel right, the first thing I'm going to think is just having an attachment on it, because I've experienced equipment that had attachments.
Right.
Because you're using it so much and the spirits are interacting. Some of them say, "Oh, I like this thing. Maybe I'll just hitch a ride on it." And don't think that doesn't happen.
Yep.
And so in fact, we're on the subject, so I might as well say it. I've had that experience with dowsing rods. We had
that I could see more even.
Yeah, because of the conductivity of the copper. Yeah.
That connection.
Because of
the
human component. Yeah.
Yeah, but I could see equipment too. But I don't. I guess I just rely on my spirit guide so much that I don't. I mean, he really does his job properly.
Yeah, I had short period of time where my dowsing rods didn't really want to work. So I did clean them with a sage and oil mix and then left them out in the moonlight for like 2 days just to let them be cleansed and recharged. And that seemed to work for me. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I don't know.
That'll work.
And I was curious just because, okay, everybody's got their favorite tool, period. Whether it's paranormal gear, musical equipment, or anything. Some people will only grab one particular hammer if they're going to build something.
Oh, that. You mean like that, like me with my fork.
Right.
I gotta use one fork and then my favorite spoon. Yeah.
And I guess the underlying question is, God, now I'm confusing myself with it.
You're talking about the energy.
You yourself are putting so much more positive energy into one particular piece of equipment that makes it work better.
I think
so.
Yeah, I think Frank's box Frank was one of my closest friends, a best friend to me. So that to me would give me, you know what I mean? Being so close to him, it's a part of him, and it is literally.
And when he built it specifically
as a gift
for you. So he put in a lot of positive energy when he built the things for you.
Shit, the bastard had me testing it all month long. How's this sound? Here, check this. Lee, check this out. You like this sound? What does this sound? I was like, wow, I can hear that really good. Then all of a sudden I missed this post on Facebook. And he was like, Leighton calls me. I think you need to go check Facebook. I said, why? What happened? He said, go check my post. And that's when he announced it was the gift.
I recently got a great gift from someone.
What'd you get?
Fabian.
Yes.
Fabian? What? Where? There you go.
He saw that. He saw that.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
We had a spirit touch that got fried, and look. If a piece of equipment's going to get fried by a ghost, it's great when you can catch it on tape happening.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh God, no. We did Maze of Mystery. You'll see that the spirit touch, because you could see the energy orb literally go right into the unit, and the unit done.
It's fried.
Fried.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you can literally watch it happen. And Fabian was nice enough to give me the one from his team. But that was one of those pieces of equipment. That's Paraunity right there, folks.
That's it. You nailed it. Nailed it.
Don't I know it? But I got to tell you, that was one of our pieces of equipment that was starting to work better as time went on. And like in the very beginning, it was hard to get spirits to interact with it. And as time went on, it would work all the time, to the point where we would get some spirits that would just keep touching it. And then finally one got a little too intimate with it and fried it. But yeah, but yeah. So no, David, to your point, I totally agree. Totally.
Yep. It definitely brings the energy. It's good energy. Good energy is good
Bobby.
energy. You know.
Bobby, which you got an investigation coming up?
An investigation?
Yeah. Do you have one scheduled or coming up?
We're just going to go out during the bash.
Yep.
Okay.
Good
cool.
idea.
That's cool.
You know, after the bash. After the bash is over, we go out to the Gettysburg Field, and we try to get in some investigating before the sun goes completely down and the park rangers kick us out. But
yeah,
you know, honestly, dusk is the best time to investigate anyway, in our experience. So yeah, so we're looking forward to doing that. Hopefully, we'll catch something. I'm probably not going to go to Spangler Spring again. I'd like to do some different areas just to see what happens. You know, mix it up a little bit. There's
so
no
much.
not active part of Gettysburg.
No, even the street.
Oh, no doubt.
You're
No
walking
doubt
down
about
a damn
that.
street.
No doubt
Gettysburg
about that.
You can walk down the street, be in a hotel. It doesn't matter where you are, and they're there.
Doesn't.
That's
It
what's
really
great
doesn't.
about it. Oh,
It really
hold
doesn't.
on,
So,
I'll be right
yeah.
back. My son is leaving. Hold on, be right back.
I might do some.
I love you.
I might do some investigations, like some solo stuff for. Is Lisa okay?
Yeah, Mikey's leaving.
Yeah, she went to go check on her son. He's
Oh, I
taking-
thought
he's
she did a
taking-
Houdini there for a minute.
Kaboom.
Okay, I'm back.
Bada
Now you
bing.
see her. Now you don't.
But I'm back. I had to say goodbye.
Hey, where's
Okay,
Colt
okay.
Jam? I've been asking you this for years. Where's Colt Jam at?
She's in right now. Carly is actually in Hershey, Pennsylvania, doing the merch for the musical Six.
Awesome.
That's where she's doing. Yep, she's doing the merch. She
Lisa,
did it yesterday, today. Yep.
That's great.
And,
Colt
yep,
Jam.
she's getting her foot in the door. She did it for She actually did Daryl Hall about
Right.
That's
a month
great.
ago when he was
Wow.
up here.
Daryl
Yep,
Hall,
she did the merch
Big
for Daryl
fan.
Hall.
Big fan of
Yep.
Daryl Hall.
Big likewise.
Yeah, and she
Oh,
got her foot in
yeah.
Live Nation, so she's working. That's what she wants to do. She wants to be in the field, so she's building her herself up by little bit. But this is the second time she worked for Six, and then with Daryl Hurl, and then she worked for the Word Alive. And she got a lot of. She's starting to get her foot in the door.
That's great.
Yep.
That's
yeah.
great.
Otherwise,
we gotta
she's
get
sitting
Colt
next
Jam
to me.
on here. She's
Oh,
sweet.
yeah,
I'd
she's
love
a
to have
trip.
her on with you sometime. Well, so we're gonna start doing this. By the way, let me give a shout out to the ParaSanctum podcast. We're gonna start doing these. This is actually the beginning, and it's an honor and privilege to have Bobby, and it's always great doing
Yes.
this. As on the first official vodcast that we're doing, that I consider to be the first one that, well, we haven't gotten back in touch with Barry Taff. I hope to be able to reach out to him and get him on here. But Bobby, you're on the flagship episode. This is the very first one of the video podcast, and
I love that.
Really,
I love that.
you got to be a part of that.
Perfect.
We're gonna start doing this when I can get time. I'm gonna try to do this like every Sunday or every other Sunday. I hope you two are available for it.
Yeah, I'm available.
Yeah.
Yep, I'll definitely do it.
I got nothing going
Yep.
on.
Yep.
Awesome, cool beans. That's awesome.
Great. That's great. Congratulations on it. Really, I think it's great.
Yeah.
I think you're going to do phenomenally well. I really do.
Well, thank you. 30 episodes right now on the Spotify.
Yep.
And also, Bobby, I noticed you have a studio. In fact, you're in it right now. Can you tell us what you're up to? You got your studio going on now.
I do. Well, I've always had my studio where I edit my videos, but
okay.
up until recently, I really didn't have the highest quality equipment in order to even be a guest on podcasts. Now, I have absolutely no desire to do a podcast at all. But I wanted better equipment so that when I do a show, it's better for your show so that people can see me and they could hear me. Also, very soon on the agenda, I'm going to be doing an audio version of Family Spirits. I've been getting a lot of requests.
Oh,
for it.
that's
that's
awesome,
good.
man.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And,
You heard it
luckily,
here first.
well, I was kind of blessed with like this radio announcer's voice, and I can.
Yeah,
Yep.
you can do
Oh
it.
yeah.
You got the groove,
Yep.
man.
I'm gonna narrate my own book. And so
Yeah,
that's
great.
So I did.
Man.
I went out and I got some professional equipment, video light, which you can't see, but you can see my face better because I have it. But I wanted to get the equipment because, I'll be honest with you. I appear on a lot of podcasts and a lot of video podcasts.
Yes.
I noticed that.
Literally hundreds. And some of them I'm kicking myself because I don't look good. I don't sound good. And, let's face it, once you do these things, they're out there forever.
I know, right?
Yeah. So I said, I got to step up my game here. There's a lot of kids in this field now, and us more seasoned investigators, we need to show them how it's done.
Yep.
And
we really
you guys know what I'm saying, right?
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you guys are around my age. I know Lisa, she's in her 20s, but
Yeah, no. The hair was a giveaway, Lisa.
Yeah, the hair.
But anyway, I mean, we got to and it's funny because it's and this is what I like about everybody sticking together too, and everybody supporting one another and whatnot. And when this thing gets archived, I'm going to promote the heck out of this because that's what I do.
Awesome.
Because I'm on it, and why shouldn't I? And it helps you, it helps me, it helps everybody. Especially when there's pretty good content on these things. Anyway, we talk about a lot of subjects.
God, my phone is running out of battery space. So I am going to have to go. I have 20%. That can keep me on for a couple minutes. Yeah. Could I put in the headphones?
I hope this system. I just bought this computer. This computer that I'm actually doing. This thing was like $2,000. So it's like.
Oh God, that's a lot better than trying to do this whole podcast with headphones on an iPhone.
Well, you know what? Yeah. It was more than I needed. And the reason I got it was because I was doing video editing. I'm still doing video editing, but the program that I was using was NCH, and that's all downloaded onto the computer. So I needed like a supercomputer, or else it was very choppy. But now I'm using Clipchamp, which is cloud-based, which I probably didn't even need half the computer for that. So I overbought. What can I say? I overbought.
I actually use that too myself. I just started using it about 3 months ago. It turned out it's a nice little hidden gem in there that you can
visit.
Video edit.
I'm just going to nod and agree because I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Clipchamp and some windows.
The video editor.
I've got a webcam there, and that's about it. I have no idea.
Yeah. Hey, Bobby, I noticed. I'm sorry. In one of your episodes, they called you a Cajun.
Yes, that just happened. That was Maze of Mystery.
Yeah, Maze of Mystery. Well, I'm actually Cajun French, so when I saw that, I busted out laughing.
Wasn't that great?
Yes, it was. The hat. Is it the hat?
It was a hat. I wear
the earrings.
I wear an earring, so I know. The people in the Cajun areas they wear jewelry.
Oh yeah,
and the hat like I was wearing. So, back in the day, these spirits, if they were the spirits from back in the day, they didn't run across too many Southerners because they were up in Pennsylvania, and you didn't travel. There was no traveling. Wherever you grew up, that's where you lived your entire life, and you died there.
Pretty much.
That's right.
Pretty much. So. You can imagine them saying, "Oh, are they Cajun?" You can see because it's very exotic to them. So I thought that was pretty cool actually. And then they called me the gunman because I was wearing the Western hat.
I'm back.
Hey, go back,
I
Lisa.
had to plug my phone in.
So again, you know what? Western hats, they weren't wearing those in Pennsylvania. I mean, so it was that. And it's very interesting because we were using a ghost box app, but not a ghost box like a SB, like a Ovilus type of app.
Right.
And the gentleman who nobody uses it, and I keep telling people if you ever want to use an Ovilus type of app that works, it's only for Android. It's called Ghost Speaker. Ghost Speaker by Krugism. Scott Krug, who develops it. We corresponded when I was writing Family Spirits, because after I started using it, nothing to this day gives me relevant responses like that app. That app is absolutely phenomenal. And he said to me straight up, he goes, Bob, I created it, I programmed it, And even I don't know why it works so good, but I get stories like yours from people all over the world that said, this is the most accurate Ovilus type of app that they've ever used. So I'm hooked on it. And that Maze of Mystery, I mean, we had one called Grave Matters was the name of the episode.
Right.
Where on that app, it named the name on the mausoleum we were investigating.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
cool.
saw that.
No,
I saw
Tell
that.
me, tell
That
me
was
the
pretty wicked.
tell me the odds there.
Yeah,
That's not.
Krugism. I know the
Well, wait.
Krugs. I've known them for years. They're great people, Scott and Debbie. They're awesome.
But
I've had the ghost speaker for probably 10 years.
I love it.
It's awesome.
Well, you know what Frank said, and he made sense on this. He said to me, if they can learn to use like a box or radio waves to come in on a radio, why can't they use those apps? Why can't they manipulate those things? Which is very clear. He said, well, so I agree with you when it comes to that stuff. There are points in time where you're like, this
Okay.
can't be just, you know what I mean? This can't
Liz-
be just random.
For
It's
those
too
who actually
coincidental.
watch the episode and pay attention to
Yep.
what actually happens on Maze of Mystery,
Yep.
the one that Fabian was referencing.
Yes.
Okay. We're in here and we're having this full-on conversation with a spirit through the Ghost Speaker app by Scott Krug. All of a sudden, a name comes in, Oliver. Okay, we got a name, Oliver. Not 10 minutes later, another name comes through, Evan. So I said, okay, we are going to do some research later and see if there's an Oliver or an Evan associated with the mill, because we need to do research
Right.
to kind of validate this.
I know.
Well, guess what happens? Nikki G, as soon as we're out, she goes right to the car and she's on her phone doing the research.
Yep.
That's how this kid is, right? It wasn't Oliver and Evans. It was two words of the same name. It was Oliver Evans. And you know who he was?
See? Yep.
He built the mill.
See? There you go. That is not something you could just.
What
it's not
are
random. No.
the odds?
No.
1 in a million, 1 in a billion. First of all, this is a dictionary of 2,000 words in this thing.
Yep.
If
I
that
know.
were to happen at random, they'd have to pick out the first, and it was the first name, then the last name. I mean, think of that, right?
I know.
Even in
You can't
order.
get
It
any
wasn't
more.
Evans Oliver, it was Oliver Evans. So you got Oliver, you got Evans, and the guy that built the mill was named Oliver Evans.
Right.
What are the freaking odds? It's so I should be playing the lottery if I could win a lottery like that.
Yeah, right. No,
Right.
that never happens. Okay. The
Okay.
lottery part won't happen.
Well, folks, watch Maze of Mystery. Go to ghosthunter.ws. You can see it beneath my face here. We have a new Odyssey channel. And go there, watch Maze of Mystery. Please follow us on that channel. Please, please, please. We need a couple more followers. We're only 2 away from our goal.
Yeah, I followed you. I followed
know
you
you did.
last
Very
week.
much. I need
I'm
2
already
more
on it,
people
yeah.
to do it.
And I added my own too. If you want to follow me back,
Of course I do. Oh, please send me the link. Follow us on Odyssey. Watch Maze of Mystery, and you'll watch it. If you're paying attention, you're going to say this is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and it is. It really is. Especially when you go. That's the thing people don't do a lot is they get names and then they don't research. You just
Right.
hit the T right there. That's my specialty is research. And
Yep.
and that's exactly what you need to do. You're gonna be like, I got this, that, but you got it in a way where the first and last. Okay, that's a little much. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That was like, hello.
Well, the
Here's
first
my
time
name.
we got relevant evidence
Yeah.
in the episode Grave Matters, we were investigating a mausoleum that was broken into and the remains were gone.
Oh.
And all of a sudden this word comes up called, it was 11, the number 11. I'm like, well, what's the number 11? That doesn't mean anything. And then my daughter, Nikki G, again, she points and she goes, Daddy,
Good for her.
look at the name on the mausoleum. It was Elavine.
Oh, 11. Yeah,
With
that
one
makes
extra
sense. No,
E.
no, no.
Now,
Yep.
let's think of this logically. If there's 2,000 words in this dictionary, Elavine ain't going to be in there.
Exactly.
So what's
No.
the spirit going to do? It's going to pick out the closest possible word.
Yeah,
Which was 11, which was Elavine minus 1 E.
That's the thing too. That you're right about that. Like you could be Do you ever look at a word and that's that I can identify with that. It's like that even on the box. To be truthful, you might get something in the way it's picked out and the way.
Right.
Yep.
And then we asked, why were the remains missing? And then the word came through that said witchcraft.
Oh, they took they were planning something with those.
Well, if you know anything about Asheville, North Carolina, there is a big Wiccan population there because it's very progressive, new age.
Yeah, 70 miles down the road from me.
Over on the
there you go.
Just down the mountain from where I live.
Darker
70 miles.
Yeah,
It's
but
on my to-do list.
darker. You know what I mean? Like darker people, like the you know.
It happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
like wish people, evil people. I mean, bodies. Yeah, that sucks.
I've already experienced on other investigations the ramifications and how the spirits reacted to us because they thought we were going to desecrate the area like previous people did.
Yeah.
Our darkest investigation, the gatekeeper was the episode, was because of that. And these spirits, and I don't think they were evil. I think they were guardian spirits. They wanted us out because later on, when I did research on that area, on that cemetery, I found newspaper clippings of witchcraft rituals that were being done there.
Probably more like desecration.
There was Santeria rituals. That was in Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And they found dead chickens there, all kinds of things. So that when we went in there, and here we are, these people that they don't know because we're not relatives of anybody in the cemetery, and we have all this equipment with beeping and flashing lights. They don't know what it is. They don't know what we're going to do. So
they're expecting it.
They drained all of our equipment, including our camera. We ended up taking the video with the cell phone. My daughter, Nikki G, who's an empath, they really messed with her head. They were talking about her friend who had just committed suicide through the equipment. I mean, it was bad.
Wait, really?
Yeah, for real. There's no joke.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that. And again,
you can see, if you watch the episode, you could see her. She was just a mess. And yeah.
So sorry about that. She must have been.
That really happened.
It makes it even, it hits home even more when it's not even a living person that's trying to use your own life events to get you away from an area.
And that's exactly what was happening.
See,
I'm not kidding. I mean, that really happened.
That never happens to me. I never have any of these issues.
Right. And I've through watching a lot of the other paranormal shows.
Yeah.
And everybody goes back to the same places where all the big name people
exactly.
We'll just roll our eyes.
I call them paranormal attractions du jour.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
And the fact that the original people started such a bad rumor about a particular location that has constantly been carried over.
Yeah.
So people go in expecting it, and they will make an attempt to disrespect whatever spirit is there.
Right.
Yeah.
Is going to drag out a bad reaction from whoever is still in the area.
Or that spirit's not even a ghost. Oh wow!
If you see that picture of Nikki, this was taken exactly as she was getting those disturbing communications.
Oh, poor girl. Oh man.
It was dark. And let me tell you something about that investigation. You know, a lot of times people say, how do you know a place is haunted? I said, most of us that have been doing this a while, you just walk in and you feel it.
Yeah,
You feel it.
Exactly.
You can feel the energy. There's a certain vibe to the place. That cemetery had the most foreboding, negative vibe to it I have ever experienced in my entire career. I will never go back there. They made it quite clear.
Yeah,
I don't blame
you. I wouldn't go back there either. I mean, God, that might even date back even prior to the cemetery. I mean, it might be just that location itself.
Yeah,
might have had hell happen. I mean, for longer than even the cemetery. It sounds too powerful. You know,
And you know, I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I think there's a lesson to be learned here, and this goes out to all the kids doing this. Like when I say kids, I'm talking about 20-ish, because to me they're kids.
Yeah,
The next generation.
You know, this is all fun and games until that one experience that blows your mind and makes you really reevaluate this and makes you realize that a lot of times this is not fun and games. You know, earthbound spirits are earthbound for a reason, sometimes for benign reasons, sometimes not.
I know.
Yeah.
You got to be careful out there.
Yep.
You know, my good friend, Reverend Sean Whittington, who I did an interview in Family Spirits too, who now is on the new Travel Channel show, Legion of Exorcists.
Cool.
He'll tell you, you got to be careful out there.
Yeah, no, I mean you got these, like, they watch the shows. That's the problem. Like, our kids were raised in the paranormal. There's a difference between kids that are raised with it and know what they're doing,
Right?
and compared to some kid watches the no-name show where it's cool to go in and do shit, and then and so you go in, they go in blind. They have no idea what they're dealing with. They wind up coming home with something.
Right.
Or
So
getting hurt.
yeah, I mean, kids that watch a show and they're like, oh, okay, we can go under this particular bridge in this particular set of woods and do this particular Sumerian ritual and get all kinds of good activity. No, don't spread it.
They do too. I mean, that's another.
And they do it because they've seen other respected teams do something like that.
Right.
Yeah, act like idiots. In other words, they do when
basically,
and everything's a demon. And and then what happens though? You go, you don't know what you're doing. Even if it's not a demon, you come back. Even if it's not a demon, right? You might draw in them. See, I always said, if you're looking for a demon, you'll find one.
That's right.
Yeah.
You go in,
Demons are rare. I mean, everybody keeps
very
wanting to see
rare.
one. They don't want to see a demon, man.
First of all, a lot of people don't realize this about demons. And Sylvia Rossi talks about this in Family Spirits too, folks, available at Barnes & Noble. Anyway.
Oh, that was not shameless at all, Bobby.
No,
Oh, hell no.
Not a problem.
I have no humility, pal. Anyway.
No.
Bobby!
Sylvia Rossi talks about this in Family Spirits too. She says, you know what? Demons don't want you to know they exist.
No.
They're not coming after you and doing a guest appearance because of your YouTube channel.
No.
Demons don't want you to know. Demons work behind the scenes influencing people. They're influencing governments. Right. And they're in, they're doing all these nefarious things. What they want you to be is an atheist. They don't even want you in the paranormal because they want you not to believe anything so that they can work unhindered.
Exactly.
So more times
That's
than
right.
not, what we are, it's the truth. And more times what we are experiencing out in the field are earthbound spirits.
Yeah, very nasty ones, but earthbound nonetheless.
That's why every time on one of the shows I hear across their audio equipment, whatever spirit box they're using, when any spirit identifies itself directly as a demon, I'm like, nah.
Then it isn't.
They're not going to come out and admit it.
Nope.
No, like Bobby just said, they don't want to declare that.
A demon's not going to say, hey, yo, I'm here. Yep, I'm a demon.
Never happened.
No, but they won't do it.
Bobby, do you think, now hear me out on this, like, I've seen this happen, where someone took something from somewhere and kept it with them, and slowly but surely their life started to be destroyed on every angle. Negativity would come. Everything was bad all the time, and it ate away at the soul of the person that used to exist. That right there would be considered a what? That'd be a demon, right?
It doesn't have to be a demon. That could still be a nasty earthbound spirit. It's a very low vibration spirit, and they will feed off your energy just the same way as a demon. Hey, could it have been a demon? Of course it could have been a demon.
I mean,
that is possible. But
I've seen it and I've seen it take away the spirit of a person that I knew, and it just the negativity around it seemed to, you understand, just get
I will
worse.
tell you this: it's evil. Whether it's an
Oh,
evil demon, because okay, let's make some definitions here, because I think a lot of people that are even in the paranormal don't even understand the differences.
Right.
An earthbound spirit is the spirit of a person who's passed on. Now, hey, look it. Hitler could be an earthbound spirit, and there's nobody more evil than that, right? I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That would be an ultimate evil earthbound spirit.
Right.
Okay. Now, a demon is a fallen angel. That's a different being entirely. It's a different being entirely.
Demonic
Demons
entities
are
never were human.
hundreds of thousands of years old. You can't fool them. You can't trick them, because we're not that smart. They're way older than we are. They've been at this game a long time. You don't want to run into a demon. And if you do run into a demon, it's something you're not going to forget. Like, again, they're not going to do this to star on your YouTube channel.
No, you hit the nail on the head. No. They go slow. It's totally like, it takes a very long time when something like a negative entity or an evil entity or a demon enters your life. It doesn't just happen. It happens over a long period of time.
And even if you get rid of a negative entity, it's not like the movies where all of a sudden, boom, it's gone and everything's better. It's like having a really bad flu. It takes like weeks for it to like dissipate the energy.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've seen this. I've seen this firsthand, folks.
It's not like just going into a completely pitch black room and flipping on a light switch and boom, suddenly there's light and everything's better.
No, doesn't work that way.
It does not happen that way.
That shit would wear you out if that was the case. It would take like the flu type of thing to recover, because your life can't just go magically back to normal if you had to. I feel blessed on my end because I know that I'm protected, and I have, even when I witnessed what I witnessed, I have a strong faith. And that faith and that God of mine, all right, who really stood by me even through all my, it did not affect me, but I saw it happen and I didn't know what I could do to help. You understand? Like, there wasn't anything I could really do. So, I mean, especially if they don't want help. So, you know what
I agree.
That's it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest part about it. Being able to determine whether it's a truly non-human demonic evil entity or if it was just a severely evil human whose spirit energy is stuck on earth,
or even angry or sad even.
Spot on, David.
And see, that's where
John Zappis comes in.
Well,
shout out to John Zappis.
That's why
That's our boy, like and love Johnny.
They've had a lot more experience than most people in this field, but research is always the best stage in trying to figure out, okay, who was here in factual history? What kind of person were they when they passed away? And could this energy be theirs? As opposed to, holy crap, we don't know what's going on.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna throw this out there. Do we have time, Fabian, for me to talk about this? By the way,
I was just saying, if you needed to go, you can say anything.
No. I'm good. I don't know if any. I'm going to only speak it for myself, but I'm going to throw out something that just came out very recently and I thought was extremely interesting and is germane to this conversation. Like, I'm Roman Catholic. I don't know if any of you are.
I was born Roman Catholic.
You were born Roman Catholic?
Yeah, my mother changed.
Even if you're ex, are you ex? Even if you're ex-Roman Catholic?
No.
In my heart, I still am sometimes.
Church, but I know I went to Catholic school. Okay.
Okay, well, that's close enough.
Sometimes
I'm asking that question.
And I was born baptized and I had my communion. I had my confirmation.
So you were at one point. Okay, fair enough. There's a reason I'm asking that question. The reason I'm asking that question is then you're familiar with the doctrine of purgatory.
Yes.
Purgatory is the middle ground. It's a stepping stone to heaven, basically, and it's where people go that still can't get to heaven. They go there to get purified of their sins before you get to heaven. It's a Catholic doctrine.
Right. We know. Yep.
The Catholic Church has been getting so into this whole paranormal thing that there was just on
I noticed
Catholic.net,
that.
I think.
I did. Uh-huh.
There was an actual article. I couldn't believe this was coming from a Catholic website that says they're starting to believe that ghosts may be souls in purgatory. Like they're on here on earth because
maybe that's what it is. But
right.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be here to learn their lessons that they didn't learn on earth.
See,
and I just thought that was my mind was blown. I didn't.
Wait. Hallelujah.
Right. Right.
Well, that just answered a whole lot of everything.
Right. I brought this question up to Fabian and Lisa on our last Scanning the Frequencies. In regards to an earthbound spirit, whether they're here by choice or in order to learn, can they elevate themselves to being strictly a spiritual entity to be able to travel as they will?
I got an answer.
When they learn their lesson.
Hold it. Some aren't here for lessons. Some are afraid to cross over because of their beliefs in this
Yes.
life also.
Okay.
So it's not just learning lessons. It is. You run into them that they're scared. Maybe the way that they were raised, they thought they'd go to hell. You know what I mean? And like for me, I've heard my Walter cross. I don't do nothing. I just stand there. All right, Walter, I've heard him when somebody comes in that he doesn't know. I've heard him literally take them over to the light. Now they seem like lost souls.
I agree with you 100%. I also agree with David. I think once they get to a certain level of enlightenment and they've learned what they needed to learn, that they could cross over at that point.
Yep.
But here's something that blew my mind, and I came up with this with Kirsten Klang. She's with a Minnesota, a paranormal group, and I discussed it in my first book. And Dr. Christina Rawls, who is a renowned psychic medium, a trance medium, at first she didn't agree with me on this. Now she does. There's a reason that we get more activity in older cemeteries as opposed to the newer ones. Oh, okay. There's a reason for it. And you know what we think it is? We think we got this down. We think we've nailed this. You know, in early America, the majority of people were Protestant. And in the old Protestant belief system, when you died, you didn't go right to heaven. What happened was you were to sleep in your grave until the second coming of Jesus. So let's just say that when you die, your spirit's there, but you believe because of your conditioning your entire life that you're supposed to stay in that grave till Jesus comes again. Right. Okay. Then if you go to these older cemeteries, these Victorian cemeteries,
oh my
and the
God,
place lights up, maybe it's because they're all there still.
And they're all waiting to see if you know who's showing up too. And you could be absolutely correct on that. Yeah. And then they're like,
it makes sense.
Wait a minute.
So yeah, I mean,
right?
that would
paranormal field, but
pretty cool.
It could track completely true considering religious belief, personal belief, as to whether or not you stay earthbound or if you immediately cross over.
It could be.
Do whatever you want.
But it could be personal belief. It literally could be. Because here's another thing. You know, James Van Praagh, in his book called Ghosts, he has seen through his, his abilities, ghosts still kneeling in the pews of these old churches.
That I could see.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Their routine was so rigid during life, they died and they still feel like they have to be at church.
Because that's true. And some of it could be residual.
Quite a few captures of that kind.
You know, I can see that happening totally, especially when their belief system was like shoved down the throat and they cannot believe that, they're afraid to believe anything else, and that's it.
Right.
So earthbound spirits, though. Well, we got spirits, we got ghosts, right? We got residuals, which is definitely a time imprint. Like if you see them repeating the same friggin' behavior over and over, like opening a cabin.
That's what I've always believed.
Yeah, and then
the residual
energy.
Yeah,
you got your guides and you got angels, so you got a whole bunch of entities out there with different, no, I can't say purposes when it comes to the goat, but no, actually, yeah, because what are we doing? We're learning from them, right? So I guess, yeah, everything has purpose.
David, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask him.
Do what?
That's what I was going to ask David. He was about to say something.
Lisa had mentioned the residual haunting events, and my question on that whole situation is it a residual haunting, or is it just a full-on psychic imprint?
I think
because
it's a full-on psychic imprint.
Yeah, because everybody has this ability, and if you go through enough of a traumatic or lasting personal event in your life, like, okay, in this house, if something really bad happened to me all the time, that emotion and that activity is going to remain even if I move away and I'm still alive somewhere else across the country.
Right.
The next person could come in and feel that, see that, hear that.
Yeah.
And they would consider it residual, even though it's a psychic imprint on the actual location.
Well, you're talking about
maybe they do get them confused. That's
but a living person can leave an imprint. I would imagine so. I mean, if your energy is strong enough, no matter what, you can leave an imprint.
I think there are too many hauntings where an intelligent haunt doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a damn good point. Very
good.
Yep.
It has to be some kind of residual energy. And, since we are talking about energy, there's not going to be one layer of energy. There's going to be different layers of energy and different ways that this energy manifests.
Yep.
I mean, we're looking at a universe of infinite possibilities. So there's no reason we can't believe that some of these are intelligent and some of them are not.
Right.
Energy is everything.
Exactly.
And even to the point where if there is an intelligent spiritual energy at a location, they may choose not to interact with you.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, David, for sure.
On.
In fact, David, let me follow up on that. I think that's the reason so many ultra skeptical investigators, some of them have told me, I've been doing this for 20 years and I've yet to get any evidence. It's like, because it's your attitude.
Yeah.
Yep, you nailed it. They don't want the energy around the person. It's the person, their energy. The person, we feel energy. I feel energy of somebody walking in a room. If they're off balance, I almost fall over.
That's exactly.
Okay.
And see, I don't.
Spirits pick the same thing up of a person. Like, screw this. I ain't going there.
Exactly.
I'm done.
And I don't know.
Out, they ain't saying nothing.
Yeah,
so
I don't know how it is for like Fabian or Bobby, and I'm pretty sure I could speak for Lisa.
But
to the point where at specific locations, it's not even an investigation anymore. You're going home and talking to friends. Like for Lisa, she'd go back to the fort and she could turn on all of her equipment and all she's doing is having a conversation with old friends that have been there for years.
Yep.
No, that's
the thing I like about
for me.
The thing I love about Lisa's approach is this. She has a pranks box, okay, and all she does, she turns it on and she just asks, "What do you want me to hear? What do you want to tell me? What do you want me to hear?" And some of the most remarkable stuff comes through. I mean, Lisa, tell us about what Walter did to the show the other day with the phone.
Oh my, okay. We're on the show, so it's me and David all on the radio show. Okay. We're on the show, and the three of us are on lines. I'm in the studio. I can see the lines. It's just us, okay? All of a sudden, we hear a phone ringing, like if you're calling somebody and you're waiting for somebody to answer, okay? It's coming on the radio, right? And we're like, hello? And then we hear something, right? But we weren't sure of that at that moment. We started cracking up. When I went back over that, okay, it literally said, it's Walter. It was my guide who broke through on
English,
the radio show.
Old English.
Okay. He said, it's Walter. And
we got to send that to Bobby.
Tell me
it
that
was,
is not
it was
phenomenal.
freaking cool.
That
it
is
was like, he was like trying to call. Yeah, he was making a phone call on his own that we could all hear.
But we were hearing the phone ring and we're like, what is going on? We're like, what is going on?
You don't hear the phone ring on the show. That's not how it works.
No. You hear it die, like if you're calling somebody, you hear. You
Right.
know what I
That's
mean?
gold.
A dial,
That's gold.
when you
And
make
that
a call,
was-
you're waiting for somebody
That was
to
the
answer that.
confusing part because Lisa
All right.
heard the phone
Yeah.
ringing.
It was
I
like
heard the
we were
phone
calling
ringing.
Walter, but
Fabian heard the
makes
phone
phone
ringing.
call, and I'm looking at a blank studio with just us in it.
Yeah.
And it was just phenomenal to hear that
It
come
was
back
great.
out. And
One of a
I
kind,
was-
man. One of a kind.
So they can. Yeah, Walter's a good guide. He really is a good guide. He showed up a lot of places. I heard.
Yeah,
he was on
yeah, I
my
know
show.
all about Walter coming to my investigation.
Yeah.
So
On my Oculus 5B.
like
Yeah.
with Lisa investigating at Fort Mifflin, and for her, being as comfortable with every spirit there, and thinking, being able to communicate with them as if they were old friends.
Well, yeah.
Fabian
Well,
and Bobby,
yeah.
do either one of you have a location just like that, where it's like going home, sitting down and just chilling out with a friend and just
Oh, yeah,
shooting
Bobby.
shit?
There was. When we were still living in the South, there was a Fort Mill, Old Unity Cemetery in Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Okay.
I've heard
And
of
there
it.
was a spirit there named Nancy. And we would go there and we would talk to her every time we went there, basically. And she's the one who gave us our greatest, we believe,
Right.
she's who gave us our greatest EVP ever. And, when I do lectures, this is the one EVP I play. I've had people say they can't sleep for weeks after hearing it.
Oh,
Caught completely by accident. When Renee and I were leaving the cemetery, I left my EVP recorder on in my pocket. Get home, realized that it was on. Downloaded the file, and I'm listening to Renee and I tripping over footstones and everything, trying to get out of the cemetery because it's so dark. You hear Renee laughing, you hear me laughing, you hear her saying, "I don't want to step on anybody," because she likes to walk between the graves. Very suspicious that way. And then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, you hear a woman's voice saying, "Don't leave." And then 5 seconds later, come
Right.
back now.
Very cool.
Just
now that.
Very cool.
But you felt comfortable going there, right? Like.
Oh yeah. Well, our first visit there wasn't welcoming. Another spirit told us to get out. But after that, we went back and had nothing but positive experiences. To this day, probably the most haunted patch of land I've ever investigated, and nobody had investigated it before. But yeah. And when you hear that EVP, in fact, our haunted lives, David Taylor, Christy Grissom, you're going to meet them at Hell House. Yep. When they played that on their radio show, David paused and said, "Bobby, that is the EVP every investigator dreams of getting."
Yep.
Because it was so relevant, so clear,
and perfect timing. Okay?
Perfect timing, relevant, and the same female voice in both EVPs. I mean, clear female voice. I mean,
that's the thing too.
Love getting the same voice.
Voices that are the same, once because you listen. So when you get one voice and then you hear it again and you get the same. You know what I mean? It starts to really be relevant. That's right. So cool. That is.
So yeah, the long answer to your short question.
Yep.
Fabian?
Yes, my answer is Nickerson Sneed House in Glade Spring, Virginia. And I wouldn't have had an answer for you. Most of my investigations have been private. For the majority of the years that I've investigated, it's been friends telling friends and family. Where I live, there's quite a bit of activity. So every other weekend before I became a truck driver, I was going all over the area, Southwest Virginia. I've been down to Asheville. I've been to South Carolina, but I got down to Greenville. I didn't get quite down to Rock Hill, but as a truck driver, I run Charlotte considerably. I'm through Charlotte quite a bit, so I know where you're talking about. The Unity is Unity, right? Yeah.
Well, Old Unity is very, very small. That's in Fort Mill.
Okay, not Rock
Charlotte.
Hill.
But if you ever go to Rock Hill, if you ever do go to Rock Hill, Laurelwood Cemetery is off the charts active in Rock Hill, Laurelwood.
I meant Fort Mill, but okay, I'll keep that in mind. But
Oh, yeah,
Nickerson Sneed.
You know,
Oh, go ahead.
Old Unity is very, very old. It's a Revolutionary War era cemetery. It's only about a half an acre, and it's crazy. It's great. In fact, one of my friends who's a shaman said there's a vortex there. He's convinced of it. He says there's no way it could be that active without there being a vortex there.
Ah, well, that makes
But,
sense too. There's probably more of them all portal, vortex,
Right.
whatever the hell you want to call it, all over the place.
Right.
You know.
But to answer David's question, Nickerson Sneed is my new favorite. I mean, every time I go there, it's delightful. The spirits are welcoming. The very first time our team, Tri-10 Paranormal, shout out to Tri-10 Paranormal in Greenville, Tennessee, we went to Nickerson Sneed House in Glade Spring, Virginia. And before I even got started, when I walked in with the sister of the owners, shout out to Dee Dee Holmes, Ricky, and Rhonda Caudill that own it. It's going to be a bed and breakfast. It's going to be a must stop south on 81 there sometime. Y'all get a chance to come my way. In fact, my wife of 30 years and I are going to be spending a night there next month, a week after our anniversary. We couldn't book our anniversary. So we've already we get to stay there. We're going to stay there.
Nice.
But Nickerson Sneed, when I very first walked in there, y'all, there was this bluish gray thing. It just kind of come across. I wasn't sure what it was in life, but it had stopped and was casing me as I was standing there talking to the owner's sister. And I noticed immediately that it was just stationary out of the corner of my eye. It wasn't moving. So I just told her, I said, there's a grayish something or other in that room with the big table there. And so I immediately said, I don't want to come. I want to ask y'all that we can come here. We're going to come here with good intentions. We want to hear your story. We want to share your story if you'll have us. And then it just kind of resumed and flitted right into the parlor area, which we found out later was very active on that investigation.
Okay.
I think when you go into a place, asking their permission to investigate is kind of important, because
definitely.
If you get the green light and you go in there with positive energy, then that's what you're going to get back. You're going to get a beautiful experience out of it.
And I don't want people to think like.
That.
And I agree with you, Fabian. And I don't want people to think that when I was talking about that one cemetery earlier, that everything is negative, because as you saw with Flowers for Emma,
no, I didn't take it.
It could be positive. Well, people watching this though, and I want them to realize that you're going to have positive and not so positive, when you're in this field. And I just noticed that as I was talking, Brandon Alvis from Ghost Hunters just messaged me.
Oh, he's awesome. Yeah, I like Brandon. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah. I know all the cool kids. We both do.
And see, I personally, I don't have a location that has ever felt negative to me. I don't know if that makes me weird or
it makes you lucky.
Yeah.
I mean,
makes you very lucky.
Makes you lucky.
Lucky for what? I tried. The birds wanted food. I had to go feed the birds.
Now, David, go ahead and say it again.
The old Peoria Asylum Bowen building, which was it was an old mental asylum built under the Kirkbride plan, way back early 1800s.
Wait,
so, it's had some nasty original energy to it.
That's your favorite place?
No, just the places that I've been. I haven't found one that's been negative to me.
Well, I think mine is good. You haven't found one?
At the Bowen building, I saw somebody who was walking directly in front of me stumble forward, and he turned to look at me, and I'm like 12 feet behind him. But then I saw the dusty handprint right in the middle of his back. So something between me and him pushed him slightly, and he's like, "Nope, I'm done."
Oh, I remember you telling this story. Yeah.
And I never felt the negativity from it. I never once have felt negative energy at a location.
Well, that's a blessing.
So I guess that's why I'm not terribly afraid. I leave myself completely open. I think right up until the point where something negative would have happened. Maybe that makes me crazy.
No.
Well, wait.
Might make me too trusting.
No.
Or maybe I like Lisa, and Lisa knows who her spirit guides are. She knows Walter.
I'm not
She
worried.
knows Walter's going to keep anything negative out of her immediate.
No, yeah. When it comes to a good guardian, him or William. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
William, yeah, that's your guardian
William, really,
spirit.
you
William.
we had an experience where,
I just recently was able to put names to my guardians, to my spirit.
That's
yeah,
cool.
no,
Did you get your names? You got the names, huh?
I did.
Cool. Very cool, David.
And the only way I did
just
it,
never heard them yet, so I'm not sure about these names. When I've heard
you
them,
haven't got them on the box yet?
no.
Isn't it true that has to be between you and the spirit guide, that you're not, the name won't be revealed except to you from
Walter
your
would tell
spirit
me.
guide?
Walter,
He doesn't keep anything under
that's the
wraps.
thing.
I'm just saying, I've heard that
because
that's
what I
a
did,
connotation between
it's
you
not
and your
exactly
spirit
a
guide.
Ouija board, but I did create my own spirit type board.
Yeah, tell everybody about it. It's pretty neat, actually.
Yeah, I only use it with my dowsing rod. So it's got the alphabet all the way around the outside edge, numbers to the interior, and I've got the yes and no. And that's what I was using to communicate, to try to get these names. And it's been fairly accurate to this point. So
Yeah, well, you got to, yeah.
It's what works for you, right?
Yeah, well, it's exactly what works for you. I'm just surprised I didn't hear them yet. Usually they're yelling. Everybody's spirit guide's rolling through like a friggin'.
And that's what that's the other thing I'm curious about, because it's taken this long for me to get a name for a spirit guide or a spirit that's attached itself or is hanging around me continuously.
Right. Well, no, they're not continuously. They work. Don't get me wrong. Walter worked. He works. They say he works. I don't know.
Right.
He works with spirits. That's all I know. I guess helping. I don't know what he's doing, but he works.
Well, Bobby, what do you think
they're there
about?
when you need them. They're there when you need them.
What do you think about spirit guides and such? What do you think about that?
Angels.
I personally, and this is all personal conjecture.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
why I'm
spirit
asking
guides
you.
are another name for guardian angels, to be honest.
Exactly.
That's what I've always thought.
I mean, people always ask me what this is. They always see me wearing. That's the symbol of the archangel Ariel.
Mm-hmm.
That's beautiful, man.
Ariel is one of the Ariel is the punisher of demons. So Ariel comes with me on. Ariel's supposed to have the head of a lion, and very cool. And so I count on Ariel to keep me safe on investigations. That, and I wear my medal of Saint Benedict, which is blessed. So that has an exorcism on it. So
saints too, right? It could be them too. Could it? Could it be?
It could be.
Saints, guardian angels.
It could be. Well, I know Courtney is under the protection of Saint Michael himself, and that might sound crazy, but let me tell you why I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Salem, Massachusetts,
and
we were in that magic, the real magic shop, not magic tricks, but magic actual witchcraft shop that you saw on Ghost Adventures.
Yeah.
And there was a witch in there, and the kids wanted to get readings. So I said, sure, okay, no problem. So Courtney, my youngest, is getting readings from this witch. And she's going through the tarot cards, and all of a sudden she stops. And she wide-eyed, her eyes get really wide. And she looks at Courtney. And this is a witch. It's not a nun, okay? It's not a Catholic nun. This is a witch.
Right.
She goes, did you know that you're under the personal protection of Saint Michael? And I'm like, this is coming from a witch.
Nice.
Yeah, Wiccan's different. So yeah, exactly.
It's weird. It was weird, but it stands to reason because Courtney, even though I've had ghosts call her out by name on investigations,
right,
and Laurelwood Cemetery would be the episode where that actually happened. She's never had an issue, never had a problem ever with anything.
She's protected.
She's protected.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And see, I don't know.
I do come. I mean, Fabian, to be honest with you, and it's probably because of my spiritual upbringing, and I'm still a practicing Catholic, so I think that my spiritual beliefs have colored the way I view a lot of this. But I do believe in spirit guides, but I just believe that they're guardian angels. and I think people are calling them spirit guides. I don't think there's no difference.
There's a guide. Think about this. No matter what that your belief system is,
Right.
it still equals the same thing. Okay.
Exactly.
Like before I said spirit guides or guardian angels. Notice I added that
Right.
in because
No. We're in sync here. Yeah, I agree with you.
I remember my
Sure.
guide, except I named him my own names until I.
And that's fine.
But I remember him and so he's always been helpful. So and always protected me in situations where I could have been really hurt. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it.
That is the thing is that guardian angels he mentioned angels all the time. So you know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So I guess that would explain that. So.
That's just what I believe. I think it's fine. Either way, it's fine. I believe in them, whatever they turn themselves.
They're
I believe
helping.
in them.
They're trying.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that's where I come down on it. And it might be a little bit different. I don't use the trendy terminology, spirit guides. I use the old-fashioned terminology.
Right.
Basically,
The terms that you were comfortable with when you were growing up.
Right. I was always told that too.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would probably agree with the full terminology had I grown up Catholic.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I mean, originally I think it was a Lutheran church I attended, and then I was Baptist, and then it was like, you know, I don't think any one particular religion is absolutely right. I want to look at the best part of each one.
And that's a fair thought.
Did you become each one? Did you become each one, or did you study each one?
I didn't truly study each one, but I looked at the overall good parts about it. And it's like, you know, they all have the same, you know, don't go out and hurt people. And then it turns around to, if you go out and hurt somebody, this is the punishment you're going to get. And the punishment's always different. Some's more severe depending upon the religion you grew up in. And it's like, okay, so don't go out and screw people over. You know, so I guess I mean,
it's the golden rule, basically.
Yeah, spiritual, but not religious. So, and I think Lisa would term that Gnostic.
Well, agnostic means you're not sure that there is a God.
Not agnostic.
Not agnostic, Gnostic. Gnostic, which is a seeker of your own truth. No matter what you go.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Picking the best parts.
Gnostic.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, looking through, if you would go back and study the better parts of each religion, I think you might be able to achieve a better enlightenment in humanity. But not everybody's going to look at it the same way that I
David,
am.
obviously we all believe that, or none of us would be paranormal investigators.
Exactly.
Because the bottom line is, even as a Roman Catholic, sometimes I'm at odds with people in my own religion. Sometimes I'm not. Because, believe it or not, Roman Catholicism is actually more lenient towards what we do than a lot of fundamentalist religions.
And
right.
This is how I can agree.
The Baptists were the original pilgrims.
A lot of religion used to say ghosts don't exist. You know, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but as far as a Christian-based religion, you believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. So you believe in a spirit.
You believe in
Proverbs 2:18, baby.
Spirit existence.
Proverbs
2:18. How can you have the Holy Ghost, the Spirit of Christ, in your religion if you don't believe in spirit?
Well, first of all of the fundamentalists who come out of the woodwork saying that all ghosts are demons deceiving us, I've never read the Bible that they claim they read all the time.
That's correct.
Because there is not one. Trust me, I've studied it.
Yep.
There's
I've
not
read the
one
Bible
passage in the Bible that said ghosts are demons. In fact, it says quite the opposite. You had the ghost of Samuel in the Old Testament.
Right.
And then you had Jesus summon two spirits during the Transfiguration, Moses and Elijah. Those were ghosts, folks.
Right.
Those
yes,
were
they were
spirits.
ghosts. And Lazarus' dead mother. And
and the apostles believed in ghosts.
Or ghosts.
Did you know the Jewish church recently, there was a I'm trying to make sure I get this right. I believe that the Jewish church used to believe fervently in ghosts, and they removed that at some time ancient.
They
Yeah,
remove
and
a
that's
lot
and
of
that's funny
things
because
from everything.
you're looking at a religion that's 6,000 years old. You just don't
Yeah.
remove
Right.
something. But
Yeah,
they
I know.
removed it because it was the trendy thing to do.
Yep.
Right.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Let's.
And
Oh, we
Things
can't
like
have anything to do with these ghost hunting shows now, can we? You know. But the bottom line is, I mean, at least in Roman Catholicism throughout history, there have been ghosts that have, in fact,
Yes.
the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which is kind of our handbook of dogma, it's in there that God allows people to come back in the form of spirits during certain crucial points in our life. I just
Right.
happen to think they come a little bit more often than that. You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And what's crucial to one may not be crucial to another.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So
They
yeah, so
gotta
you
parse
got to
it that
take
way.
the. So you can't lump all of Christianity when it comes to ghosts in one basket
No.
because your fundamentalists are going to believe something entirely
Very
different
hard.
than your Catholics, than maybe another one.
They go into the craziness. That's what they it starts to become like dogma, completely dogma, where
Right.
they, I lose it. So
It goes into
yeah.
a whole different paradigm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm looking for a
It
book.
truly does. Peace
have a
and
book
goodwill
around-
toward man, whatever you
That's
believe,
what it's
man.
about.
Well,
Peace,
even the
love.
Spiritualist Church of
back there
America.
on the second shelf behind you, Bob.
What's that?
I'm sorry, Bob.
The book. It's back there in the corner.
What?
Because it could have been. It really could have been. No, it's not.
I would have died if you'd
No, they
picked up.
Yeah, you're right. I would have.
bottom line
I would
is
have been like, dude,
David
get out of my house.
Bobby, what's
I'm
wrong
kidding,
with
I'm
you?
kidding. There's a book called The Handbook of Denominations, which I love because it tells you about, the
Oh, I gotta get
Spiritualist
that.
Church of America is a Christian religion, and
I've heard of that book. Wait a minute.
That's neat. I got to get that.
you won't put,
Oh,
you can't
wait a
put it
minute.
down. The
Somebody
Handbook
has-
of Denominations by Frank
Yes.
Mead.
Plug,
Yeah.
excellent.
Oh, I know that book. Oh shit.
That's a great book. And it
The
tells you the
Handbook of
differences between
Denomination.
every single religion in America, Christian religion.
Mhm.
And
Write
it's
that
not
down. I
expensive
gotta
either. I
get
think you
that.
can pick it up for $10.
If we go back and just say peace, love, and empathy, we can solve all the rest of the
Bobby,
problems.
was that Handbook of
Handbook of
Handbook.
Denominations by Frank Mead, M-E-A-D.
A-D. Mhm.
Yep.
I
That's a
remember.
great book.
Do I have that book?
I studied religions in high school. I loved it.
Well, this
I
one
love
you can't
learning
put
about
down. This one you really
That's
can't put
right.
down because you keep going back to it because you'll hear of a religion somewhere and like, let me look that up and see what they believe in. It tells you
Mhm.
everything. It's great.
I'm thinking, do I
That's
have
right.
that? I might have that somewhere in my storage.
Oh,
unit.
that's a
How
keeper.
about the-
That's
Yep. Yeah.
The
in that-
Book of
Yeah.
Dreams is another plug. You ever heard of the Book of Dreams?
Yeah.
no, I haven't. Who
Oh
wrote
yeah, they
that?
got a Book of Dreams. I don't remember. Unfortunately,
I
I'm
don't
not
remember,
as
but I
savvy
know
as
the-
you.
Now you
But
made me
the
think
Book
a
of
movie
Dreams
Dreams
was a
myself.
great
Wait.
book. It was made back in the 80s when I read it, so that gives you a timeline.
Was that
Okay, because I know Kevin Kincaid, who was in my book Family Spirits 2, just wrote a book on dreams.
here's a
Yeah,
here's
this
a
was-
bad joke coming into
It
play.
was called the Book
The
of
Book
Dreams.
This is
of
when we
Dreams.
were youngins.
Yeah, written by Rip Van Winkle, The Book of Dreams.
Rip
Oh
Van
yeah,
Winkle.
he was just a little late to the party.
That was a
Yeah,
long
really.
book. That was a long book.
Sorry. I had
Hey
to go with
Lisa,
a
you want to
bad
tell
joke.
Bobby about Sleepy Hollow real quick?
Uh-oh,
Yeah,
I like Sleepy Hollow.
Which part
Go
about
ahead.
Sleepy Hollow?
about our family and
Oh,
Sleepy
yeah,
Hollow,
well,
about our connections to the band.
Okay.
Go
My
ahead.
mother's was a Van Brunt buck, and my father's a Terio Lagonia. Okay. But my mom, we got the Van Brunt history all the way on my mom's side, straight through Sleepy Hollow, where we've been to. Me and Dawn went to the cemetery, and we're like, because we share the same fifth grandfather. Long story. All right, but anyway, so we went to the cemetery, like so many relatives. We have a strong connection with that place. No, but the TV show really did me in though, because remember in the book it wasn't supposed to be Abraham Van Brunt was the headless horseman, but
Exactly.
but
In
Well,
the series,
it
it was Abraham
based
Van
on a
Brunt.
true story.
Right.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
you
all
know
based on a true
you
story.
know what
Washington
the real
Irving.
story was, right?
You know, I don't
Okay,
like
what
to
you-
do SLS, but this was taken at Sleepy Hollow Churchyard in Terrytown.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
This SLS right here that
Uh-huh.
I took at what I suspect is the unmarked grave of the headless
You,
Hessian.
you know what? He's there.
That's
because
great.
They never found his
And you
head.
know what I
That's
got?
true.
An SLS
Uh-huh.
of a headless man and a figure of a four-legged animal, which I think is his phantom steed. I don't know if I'm
Nice.
Well, you know something. You know the
Right
real
there.
story then, right?
I can't
You know
bring that up.
that's fucking wicked. Look, do you
Hang
know the
on,
real
hold that
story?
right there.
Bobby, do you know the real story?
You can see right there's the horse,
Yeah.
and there's the man. And I
Nope.
got that on a
Damn lost his
SLS
horse.
right where I think
Wow.
that grave is, which is right
That-
next to the big tree.
Well, would make sense. That would make complete. Where'd Bobby go? Oh, there he is. That would make complete sense.
He's right there.
But
It reset.
you know the story, right? About how the Katrina or whatever Van Tassel's house, when the baby was left in the house. Do you know the story when the
No,
soldiers
I don't know
saying
that
the
story, no.
Hessians? I heard this from the historian
You're right.
there that the Hessian soldiers had come and they all went to hide, but the baby was still sleeping in the house because they didn't think that they would hurt a baby. You get it? And they all went to hide outside, you know, and that when they went in, they set the house on fire, and the one
Yeah.
Hessian soldier found the baby, right, and brought the baby over. He saw her run out, and he quieted her and gave her back the baby, right, the baby, and so that he took the baby out, and then they saw it, and the next day they found that same soldier with no head,
Wow.
Yeah.
and they buried
And that
him
was-
in
Yeah.
Sleepy Hollow, and he's known
Right.
for the ride. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's is that the unmarked grave? The unmarked
Uh-huh.
grave, right?
Yeah, they can't. There is an unmarked grave of that headless horseman there, but the fact is they never did find his head.
All I needed to do was this. The grave had to be relatively close to the church because back then it wasn't very large.
Well,
Right. Yeah.
But
with him, yeah, he was given a burial. They
right,
asked
but
to
here's
bury
the
them
thing.
on the ground. Yeah,
the church elders would have had to have known where that grave was located so that they didn't accidentally dig it up when they were interring other people, right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
And now I would think it would also be close to the tree where the legend says he tethers his phantom steed every night. So that there's only one tree that's about 300 years old in the cemetery, and it's right next
which
to the
fits.
church.
Which fits
Right?
the.
So
Yeah.
all you really need to do is look for a break in the tombstones where there's no tombstone, because they
Right.
wouldn't have had a break. Why would they have had a break in the tombstones? They would have kept going in a perfect line, but they didn't.
Right.
There are only two spots near the church and near that tree that have no tombstone, and I believe that's
I know
where
what
he's
tree you're
buried.
talking about, yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what? Be great ground penetrating radar.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was
see,
just
that's
thinking in
awesome.
my head.
Yeah.
GPR.
Yeah, well, they know, though. They know, but that explains a lot. So he was betrayed by his own soldiers because he saved the life of a baby for the opposite side, which
Right.
kind of fits the
Oh,
whole.
look at that collie! How cute!
No,
No,
it's a baby.
yeah.
No, I gotta go get my baby. I'll be right back.
That's
Look
a
at the
beautiful-
camera.
That's a beautiful dog.
Don't be shy.
That's a beautiful dog.
The Baba.
Need the Bubba.
Beautiful,
Baba.
beautiful, beautiful.
Aw, yeah.
Love it.
Oh.
He's
Well,
upset
we're
'cause it's been
taking-
raining
it's
for
all
3
good.
days up
Wait,
here.
where's PD? PD be coming. Wait, where's PD? He's coming with Fabian. Where is that little boy? Where is he? I see Fabian coming out of Ghostland. Here he comes. It's a PD. PD.
Yeah, it's Petey.
He's like, who is that? Wait a minute.
The other puppy?
Oh, she's about 8 months old. She used to be a little baby. She's a Boscamo.
What are you doing?
She's
Oh,
what you
look
call.
at that.
She's a Boscamo.
She's beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, you ever heard of a Boscamo, Bobby?
I have not.
No, it's a Boston
cross-
I'm
Terrier.
learning all kinds of things today. I'm learning about dogs. This is great.
Boston Terrier mixed with an Alaskan Eskimo dog.
Yeah, and you could see.
I could
knew
see the
Boston
terrier.
right
I could
away.
see the terrier in her for
Mhm.
sure.
Yep. Yep.
There's Petey. Petey, you're a star. You smell like the yard.
You can't hear.
Beautiful.
I call every dog a boy for some reason. because I
Can
had,
get you a treat.
yeah, sure, which I missed them, but St. Bernard's, lifespan isn't as
Right.
long as you'd like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they get the short end of the stick.
Yep. But they give you one hell of a freaking life. Let me tell you, I would do it all over again in one heartbeat. Mm-hmm.
Hey,
I would do it again.
Speak.
Oh.
Speak. There you go.
He's like, no, I'm gonna jump.
Give me the treat, damn it.
Guys, I'm gonna have to disconnect because I noticed Mikey texted me like 10 times. All right, but I'm gonna have to say goodnight.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead.
Lisa,
Well, we're at the
it was great seeing you. I'm probably going to have to bolt in about 15 minutes myself. So
Okay. All right, but take care of yourself, Bobby. It was great talking to you again. And guys, I'll see you tomorrow night on Scanning the Frequency.
Yep.
All right.
See you tomorrow night.
Or take care.
Talk to you
and
tomorrow
I will
night.
see you soon. I wish I was coming to Gettysburg.
All right. Okay, Bobby. I was gonna bring
up. Be a blast.
Yeah. All right, I'll try. Okay, love you.
Well,
guys.
Lisa, I'm gonna put Emma in your place.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna put Emma, from the graveyard in your place. No, not Emma, not our Emma.
Oh, okay.
Not our Emma.
Oh, you're just gonna put
Emma from the graveyard.
All right, bye.
Okay. That's my crazy cousin, but I love her to death.
She's
Lisa
great.
from Pennsylvania Underground Paranormal Society. Her, and shout out to Don Morano. Yeah, the best one I've ever seen, the best one of the Gallo Family Ghost Hunters episodes, I guess that I would have to say it's my favorite, is the flowers for Emma. And I'm telling you, that was such an it's absolutely amazing.
Because you get it. You get it. No, I mean, I'm not just saying that to be flippant. I really mean it.
Go back and show David. We were kind of just talking there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people wouldn't pick that episode. So I think I love that. I love the fact that that's your favorite episode.
Yeah, it really is on so many levels. I mean, look at this evidence that she's getting right there. It's quite remarkable. And I wasn't big on dowsing rods until I went to the Nickerson Sneed house, and they worked very well for me. And it really is. It's how you like David was saying, you can ask him to show them yes or no, and show you yes or no. And that's what my psychic told me, because I said the same thing. I said, isn't it supposed to close for yes and open for no? And she said, no, you ask them to show you. And as you can see there with Renee, it's showing her wide open, that's yes. And you even, when you were there, Bobby, what feeling did you get from Emma? If you picked up on her, what kind of feeling did you get from her? Was she a lost soul? Was she happy to be there? I mean, you tell me.
To me, it was like she was lonely. I got a feeling of loneliness. I can't tell you why she was there. We really never got those answers, but I feel like she really appreciated the company.
Right.
And the fact that we were willing to put flowers on her grave, which I think no one had done in a very, very long time. Because, the sad thing is like, people visit graves of their parents.
Right.
They visit graves of their grandparents. But after that, people stop coming. You normally don't go to your great-grandparents' grave.
No, you don't.
You don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I would have to agree with it. Normally, you would just visit the burial sites of your immediate family.
Yep.
Parents, maybe a grandparent, children, unfortunately, if they have passed away.
Yeah, of course.
But beyond that generalized connection, you just don't. And unless you're a paranormal investigator, you don't visit somebody else's grave.
The only people who visit your grave are the people who plant the flags on the graves of veterans. That's it.
Exactly. And that's only because, and unfortunately for a lot of people, it's just a matter of, oh, well, I take care of the cemetery. I don't know this person. I don't care, but we got to put graves or, flags for the markers of the veterans.
Exactly.
And
And
Yeah, I
therein
used
lies
to,
the sadness.
and see, I did. I used to take care of, uh, to mow out and keep them clean, like 3 or 4 different cemeteries up here, back when my partner was still alive. And we had to put the flags out for the veterans. And some of these were old gravestones. And, I tried to show them as much respect as I could because, they were veterans, they had passed. I knew nobody else had really been around. And in one particular cemetery, because it's always surprised me up here in Maine, I can't find morel mushrooms. I can't. But in one cemetery, on one particular grave, I found one morel mushroom.
Wow.
I looked at it and I'm like,
Interesting.
not touching that one. I'm like, that's yours. And
if you see the urns on the mausoleum, our very next episode, which I believe was No Spirits Allowed, you'll see us bring the flowers and put them in the urn.
right.
That she wanted.
Oh, wow.
Because we did go back with flowers.
Another great thing. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. I saw that where y'all went back. I also saw where y'all cleaned up some beer cans.
Yeah, no spirit. See,
location.
nobody got the joke. No spirits allowed. Spirits meaning alcoholic beverages.
Oh, right.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, good. Yeah. There was a spirit that was upset that people were partying on his grave and leaving the beer cans there.
See,
right. Yeah.
We did clean them up.
I think, if I can come back and retain a lot of energy as a spirit, if I see somebody on my own grave disrespecting it like that, I'm going to pick a bottle up or a can up, and I'm going to chuck it at somebody. They
So
ain't
am I.
coming back.
Yep.
Sling it.
Oh, God. That, I think, the disrespect that humans show in cemeteries is just disgusting.
Because they don't believe, they think that, it's just an empty, they don't believe in an afterlife. They don't believe in spirits. They don't believe in ghosts. So they don't believe there's going to be any ramifications. They just,
right.
And even if they didn't, they shouldn't do it out of respect, like you just said, but they don't think anything's going to happen to them. And they don't realize that half of these people are walking around with attachments. They don't even know it. And their
right.
life is, gone to, trash, and they don't even know why.
Exactly. Because at some point they have completely disrespected the spirit, and the spirit's like,
right.
Until you come back and apologize and make this right, I'm not going anywhere. You
Exactly.
will feel me whether you know I'm here or not.
100%. 100%. I'm sorry. I totally believe that. And that's why I always say I have my.
You were saying earlier.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just saying that you were saying earlier about the younger generation. If there's one thing that you can leave with them tonight in this podcast, what is the best advice? If it could be a sentence or even like one thing or one particular phase of doing paranormal investigations, what would be one thing that you could leave that would top all other things as far as what you could tell the new generation?
I'm going to say exactly what we were just talking about. Be respectful.
That's what made me think of it. That's why
the reason I'm saying that is because by being respectful, you can either open up a lot of doors or you can close a lot of doors. I mean, opening good things, like you'll get communication, you'll get your evidence. If you're respectful and you have good intentions, good things will come your way.
Right.
If you have negativity and disrespect, first of all, you're not going to get evidence. Bad things will come your way that you don't even know are there. So it's not evidence. It's just a negative attachment or whatever. It all has to do with intention. You have to do these with honorable intentions. And I'm telling you folks, and if, younger generation, you cannot be in this just to build your YouTube following or to get your subs and your clicks and make your dramatic thumbnail with your face like,
I know, right? I'm right. I see that all the time now.
Right? You know what Gavin Kelly calls that? He calls that the sex doll face.
Now here's the other one.
Right.
Exactly, David.
Show me your best O face on an investigation.
That's it. That's it. You got
Yeah,
you know what?
Absolutely.
And stop putting a demon in the demon tried to lock me in a crypt. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. And stop, because you're gonna attract these things by faking this, because it's not.
That's
You know, people want to watch paranormal content because they're looking for answers. They want to see the real evidence. They want to see the real experiences. They don't want this fake crap. They don't care if you think you're Zach Bagans. They don't care. That's not what they're looking at this for. They're looking at this so that they have hope that there's an afterlife. That's what we should be doing. What these people are doing, and a lot of these television shows are doing, is unconscionable.
It's horrible.
They're faking everything.
They're destroying the entire field that honorable people are trying to expand upon.
Exactly.
Whether the average person wants to admit it or not, there's always that subconscious question of what is going to happen after I die? Where is my energy going to go?
And that's the whole reason. Yeah, that's the question. That's the crux of the whole question.
There are those of us out there who that is what we're looking for. When
exactly
I
right.
go on an investigation, I'm not trying to get out there, and I don't want to be a big name person. I'm looking for answers.
Right.
I didn't ask for what happened to happen. It happened, and I've been trying to figure out what it is since 76.
Fabian had that happen when he was a kid. And I mean, I've seen horrible shit in my life, right down the street from where I live. And, I sit back and wonder, like, what happened to that woman's spirit? I know what happened to her body, but where is her spirit at? I mean, communication for us as investigators is always going to be the thing. And we're going to keep looking until, even after we have had concrete conversations that we can prove we're with a spirit or deceased individual. I mean, if you can go out there and there's nobody else around you, and you can put down a spirit box and a recorder, and you just sit there and you carry on a conversation with somebody that, down the road, they're like, oh my God, I know that person. They died 35 years ago. How are they still talking? Well, that's concrete evidence. But you're not, and like you said, you have to have respect. And it doesn't
get what you
look
take
at it
into
like,
it.
As a living person, if you disrespect another living person, you're going to go through hell. And it's going to be worse if you disrespect spirits, because they don't have human consequences.
That's
not
right.
Anymore.
Like I always tell people, what based on what Bobby said, and that's beautiful, man. About being respectful and taking positive energy into a location. Spirits are people too. They're just no longer with us in corporeal form, and you'd be amazed at, even though whatever it is, personality or feelings. I mean, I know those are all supposed to die with us, but I think imprints of that remain in spiritual energy, and that if you give a positive feeling to where you're going and you get permission, you get protection in case there's something unruly, then I think you're good to go. But if you go in there and you start provoking and stupid crap like that, that's probably what you're going to end up with. Attachments and bad luck, bad karma, whatever. Final thoughts, everyone.
I agree.
The provoking, I think I would take it so far as to not just going in and antagonizing a spirit directly, like, I don't believe you exist. You're a piece of blah, 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 blah. Provoking a spirit could also just be as simple as continuously getting their story wrong.
That's a really good point.
That is
constantly upholding a lie about a person that was alive, and you're feeding into that negativity, which is basically antagonizing and provoking that spirit for the rest of eternity.
Yeah,
So,
David.
Well, everybody has a story to tell.
right.
That's
Fabian
right.
has a story. David, you have a story. I have a story. Everybody who's ever lived has a story. Wouldn't it suck when you die that everybody gets that story wrong?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Like the Phantom tour guide at Mifflin. I hear he likes to correct people there. So
there you go.
yeah.
Yeah,
They don't
there's
like
a
it. You
few.
get
There
the
are a
wrong
few spirits
activity from
at Fort Mifflin that have been misdiagnosed, I guess.
Yeah, Williams one of them.
You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, there was a lot of people who was like, "Oh, William Howe's a demon." He is not a demon. He was a living person. He does have his story down now, and yeah, if you can make it there, Bobby, I would.
Oh, one of these days I will for sure.
Well, during that August overnight investigation, for sure. I know
right,
Lisa is unveiling a lot of her information and historical fact that she has found out about William Howe. So that's just a little teaser for those that are watching that might be looking to go to Fort Mifflin. Go right ahead. It's going to be a great night.
Hello, Wilfred from Germany.
Hola.
A little late on these.
Spanish.
Love that. Love that. See, I'm a big international. I should be on Ghost Hunters International because my book, Family Spirits, has sold more copies in the UK than it has in the United States. So I'm an international
Nice.
guy. That's the
great.
truth.
Well,
yeah, I mean,
Willie,
Way more.
he's a great friend of mine. He's an awesome guy.
The most definite thing for anybody to remember is to go in with respect and reverence on any investigation.
I totally agree.
You have to. You know, I mean, if a living person comes up to you right now and they want to start being negative and calling you crap, what are you going to do? You're going to walk away, or you're going to react in a negative manner towards them. If they come up, they're friendly, they say hi, they just want to have a conversation, you're going to be more willing to sit and communicate. You're going to sit down and talk to them.
And the beautiful investigations.
The same is perfectly true with spirit. If you go in and if you are disrespectful, irreverent, just a total ass, they're either going to be worse of an ass to you, or they're just going to ignore you and not communicate whatsoever. So respect.
You get what you give.
That's right. That's right. Look, I'll reiterate. I've talked to really diehard skeptics, paranormal investigators, and for lack of a better description, these guys are complete jerks. And they're like, "I've been doing this for 20 years and I've never got any evidence." I says, "It's because of you. You're the reason you've never gotten any evidence. I can guarantee that right now. You walk into a place with your arms folded and you say, 'Okay, if you're a ghost and you're here, make something move, or I'm going to say this is all bullshit.'"
Oh my God, Bobby. You got to hear this. You got to hear
way to put it to a close, man. That's great.
I went to Pennsylvania to visit Lisa back in February, right? We had been to Fort Mifflin on the 18th, but we had gone back. We were just hanging out at the hotel room, and she turned on the box, and Walter, her spirit guide, hollers out my name. You're gonna die with this one. I don't know if I told you it or not. He hollers out my name. I'm like, "Yeah, what? I'm listening. What you need?" He says, "Go to the mirror." I'm like, "Oh shit. Okay, cool." So I go over. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm leaning on the sink, and he says, "Look up." So I'm like, "Okay." I'm looking up. I'm like, "All right. I'm waiting. What do you need to tell me?" He says, "Turn around." So I turned around. I'm looking at the opposite wall. And then they got quiet. And I'm standing there looking at that. And Lisa and I looked at each other, and she started laughing. I'm like, "Oh my God. They just did to me what we do as investigators to them."
Mm-hmm.
Spirits had made me their target object.
Yep.
It's like, we go in, it's like, turn on the light, make a noise, go do this, go do that. And they just had me do all of that, and I did. And I'm like,
They have a
holy
way.
shit.
They have a way of getting through to you. Bobby, I wanted to ask you for final plugs. Is there some stuff you want to get out before we close her down? And happy Father's Day, everyone. Happy Father's Day, Bobby and David.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that I was going to have to go soon, but so you said it for me.
Oh, no. Yeah. We all have our reasons. I'm over here fidgeting, if you know what I mean.
Okay. We have the events coming up are the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. I will be there. I'm going to be doing a lecture Friday at the very start of the bash called Kids in the Paranormal. So if you're going to be at the bash, please come to that. Everybody who comes to that will get a special gift. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a surprise. So you got to come if you want to get it. And also, once again, I got to do my obligatory plugs for my 2 books, Family Spirits and Family Spirits 2. See if I can get that in the camera there. There we go.
Yeah,
perfect.
They look good.
Family Spirits 1 is available both on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. Family Spirits 2 is a Barnes & Noble exclusive. So please grab those. And one last thing. By the way, you can get everything just by going to ghosthunter.ws. Wait a minute. Okay, it's backwards there. Okay,
it's right there.
The ghosthunter.ws, folks. Ghosthunter.ws is my link tree. So there's links to the books and to my new Odyssey channel, which please follow us on. It's really, really important. We're trying to build that, not so that we can get subs because we want to be famous. But what happens is this: with Odyssey, you get compensated in cryptocurrency, and we use that to fund our investigations. So
That's pretty cool.
It is. It's very cool. Library credits. It's a cryptocurrency. And the more followers we get, we don't get a lot, but we do get something. It's more than we were getting on YouTube for the past 10 years. So that's why. So full disclosure, that's why we need you to follow us. So please do that if you can. It helps us out more than you know, and it costs you $0. And it's a great channel. You should see all the great content on there anyway. Some really great creators. You'll really like it. All right, that's
Bobby.
it.
Hey, Bobby, do me a favor, if you would.
Sir.
After this broadcast, could you send me on Messenger all of the relevant links that you just said? So whenever I rebroadcast this, I will have the links in the description.
Oh, all you have to do is go to ghosthunter.ws. It's all there. That's a link tree.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. There you go. Ghosthunter.ws.
That's it. It's everything. My whole world is there. Yep.
Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try Ghost Hunter. Ghost Hunter. I'm still new to this StreamYard thing. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see if it'll do it. Is it going to allow me to link it? Oh, well, I guess not. That's strange. It should have let me do it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. Here it is.
Okay.
Oh, nope. It didn't work.
You look good in that picture, by the way.
Oh, I know that's old, man. Thank you. That's when I was working for another company. I work for one that requires a uniform now. Well, hey, everyone, I thank everyone that's listened tonight, that's tuned in to Mr. Bobby J. Gallo. I know this won't be the last we hear from you. I'm certainly tied at the hip with you in more ways than one. I'm going to try to get some people over to Odyssey for both of us, because I'm
that means so much to me. It really does.
And also, I want you to give a shout out to Renee and Nikki G and Courtney and all them. Tell them that tell them that I really respect their work too. It's not just you. Your team, your family team is quite a story, and we didn't have enough time to cover that. But boy, we sure did make a good one of it today. A good podcast.
We did. And the family, I'm telling you, they're not in front of the camera like I am all the time. They do this to get the answers. They're not in this for notoriety.
That's right.
At all.
That's what it should be about. Well, everyone, I hope everyone has a great Father's Day. Y'all take care and keep it spooky.
Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Happy Father's Day to everyone.
Happy Father's Day.
Ever happen to celebrate.
Check out the ParaSanctum podcast on Spotify, Apple, and anywhere you can listen to podcasts. Later.
See ya.
See y'all later.